Alright, this is Android, and surprisingly I'm going to be casting a second game in the preliminaries in Set Sail for Fail. This is because this game was hosted way late, actually 25 minutes later than it was supposed to be hosted, so I actually have time to be casting this as well. I will be uploading this last though, and I guess you have already realized this as you will, be probably watching it now and it's super duper late uploaded, I guess. I am talking really weird right now. Anyways, it's between DarkDanjal, a Protoss player, and Blanis, a random player. This is by no means a as high level match as the first preliminary game I casted. That was between two diamond players. This DarkDanjal is a bronze player, and this Blanis, I believe, is a high platinum player. He is at least platinum. I believe it's high platinum, but whatever. Let's just go with platinum. I'm gonna say platinum player. He's the teal Protoss in the up right corner, and this is the purple Protoss in the down left corner. DarkDanjal. So they're both producing, workers at the moment. Nothing special going on. So I'm gonna take my time and talk about the eventual builds coming up. Wait, what is Danjal doing? I think it's going to pop up a pylon. Moved out his probe a little bit too early, and the pylon comes up. Better early than late though. But anyways, the pylon comes up, and I don't really know why he's blocking his ramp against a Terran player. I guess that is a matter of preference. I personally would never do that against Terran. He might be doing something special, maybe a Void Ray Rush or something, some other shenanigans, or he's just going with a standard build with a block against Terran. As mentioned, I'd never do that on my personally, but whatever. He can do it if he wants to. He does what he wants. He's DarkDanjal, the motherfucking Protoss player who not supposed to say that word, but don't tell anyone. It'll be our little secret. Yes, our little secret. Alright, this Blanis' scout is just moving out. We can see a gateway coming up. He won't be seeing anything special, except on a gateway and a pylon, and maybe he's going to think, a wall. Some shenanigans coming up. Blanis, though, is walling himself, however, and it is way more common for Terran to do it in Terran v Protoss, of course, although it's really a matter of preference. Personally, I don't do it against Protoss when I play Terran. I only do it against Zerg. I only block against Zerg when I play Protoss as well, so not against any other race, but it's a matter of preference. It's very much doable against Protoss too, but as mentioned, I really don't agree with doing it against Terran. But as I also mentioned, it's DarkDanjal. He does what he wants. Yeah, see? No curse word or whatever there. Alright, so putting my bad language aside, we can see a lot of probes mining here, but more SCVs mining. A lot of probes, more SCVs. Nothing special coming up. A 7S core is a classic opener against Terran, and Terran's building an orbital command pretty early, which is also pretty standard. He's got one marine out. He might be doing a 2 marine. No, he's not going to be doing a 2 marine marauder push because he didn't have gas early enough. He's putting up 2 gas at the same time, which kind of indicates a Banshee rush or something like that, which would be pretty funny to see. But nothing out of the ordinary really. It's kind of regular to see, especially in the lower brackets, but also in Diamond as well, of course. So a proxy pylon by DarkDanjal. I believe, judging from the proxy pylon's location, it is probably going to be for future use. Many players do not scout behind these bushes. You cannot see past these bushes from here, or whatever. You have to walk past them, and most players, or many players, even good ones, do not scout here. So this is a very good pylon placement, and he can use it later in the game for a surprise attack on Blanis' Expo, which of course should come up sometime. Another barrack coming, a tech lab is being added, a factory is coming up, and from DarkDanjal's side, 4 gateways soon up. He's got warp gates on the way. He's got 2 gateways. He's got a Zealot and a Stalker, which is the classic opening against Terran. This can defend against most early stuff shenanigans. So he's got 4 gateways incoming, and he's probably going to do a 4-gate push. Of course, this pylon will serve good use then as well, so it kind of has 2 purposes. Either you can use it in the future if it's never detected to harass Expo, or you can just use it to support your 4-gate push if you want to do shenanigans like that, and he is going for shenanigans like that, so he's going to be able to use that pylon very effectively. He's going to have 3 warp gates right now, 4th one ready, he's going to be making 4 warp gates, and he's going to be using them probably to be offensive. He needs to make another pylon though, he warps in another stalker, and he's going to go and attack right now. He's pretty high in cash, but of course they kind of disappear really fast when you're making a 4-gate. He needs to put up another pylon, or he's not going to be able to utilize the warp gates though, and here's probably a Nexus coming up. He doesn't seem to want to do a 4-gate push, he just wants a 4-gate, which if he's going Banshees, unfortunately for Blanis, he's not going a stealth Banshee rush. That was what I was referring to before, by the way, not a regular Banshee rush, but rather a cloak Banshee rush. I believe I did not say cloak, but that is what I meant. A cloak Banshee rush would have been deadly in this situation, because DarkDanjal had no robo facility and no cannons whatsoever to protect and detect cloak, so he wouldn't actually be able to do anything against it. Unfortunately for Blanis though, he did not use cloak Banshees. He's building a command center, but it's later than DarkDanjal's Nexus, so DarkDanjal's probably going to be getting an economical advantage. Got some stalkers, some zealots. His enemy has a lot of Helions, some Marines, and 2 Marauders, 1 Medivac, and now is probably going to be either Ravens or Banshees. He's probably going to be making a Helion drop. Yes, we can definitely see a Helion drop on its way here. He's probably going to be dropping, it seems he might drop at the expo. There's no probes there right now though, or he might just be dropping at the main. If DarkDanjal is not in his base, that will be very, very deadly for him. He's breaking these rocks, which will serve him good use. Of course, the gold expo is good for him in the future, but right now he needs to be at his base, and he's not aware of it. He doesn't know that he has to be, but he really does, or he's going to be losing a lot of probes, or at the very least mining time. I can see this drop probably being successful for Blanis, depending on how DarkDanjal reacts, and yeah, we're going to see it land any moment now. 2 more probes. DarkDanjal is not reacting fast enough. The Medvac's sneaking by. He's in the entirely wrong location. He's so far away from his base right now. He's closer to Blanis' base than his own. And the Helions go down in the wrong location, but they swiftly move to the probes, and they're going to destroy them with their blue flames. And these probes are just going down. DarkDanjal's economy is being completely wrecked right now. As we can see, most of the probes, almost every single probe, there's just 1 single probe left from the main. That 1 lonely probe, he needs to be building more probes right now, and the Helions are trying to sneak back into the Medivac, and the Medivac actually, it just blows up, but still a very much worthwhile attack. If he actually managed to get away with that Medivac, it would have just been add injury to injury. Yes, injury to injury, because that would actually, okay, never mind, insult to injury. I'm not even gonna hide it. I did screw up. Not going to use F word, sorry, not going to be that careless again. I did screw up though, so with that word. So I'm just gonna say it's going to add insult to injury, because that's exactly what he would have done. But anyways, the injury is definitely caused here, as he's barely scrambling in enough cash to build more probes. It's gonna be really tough for Danjal. Unfortunately, he was in the entirely wrong place of location of the map at the moment the drop occurred, which was unfortunate because he actually moved out slightly before the drop actually commenced, and honestly he didn't respond fast enough. He warped in a few stalkers here by the time he saw the Medivac fly by. He could have moved the stalkers back to try to defend against the Helions and not have lost as many probes, or maybe even pushed the Medivac back, but he did not. And we can see battle commencing here. The siege tanks are not sieged. This is a huge blooper from Blanis, but it doesn't seem to matter, as the economical damage dealt before is enough to give Blanis the advantage to simply win that fight, even with unsieged tanks. And of course they siege eventually, and DarkDanjal is trying to deal more damage, but he really needs to build his economy up right now. He needs to build more probes. I think he realizes though that he's probably not going to win an economical battle, and he's just trying to finish it as soon as he can and try to deal a lot of damage himself, but he is unsuccessful in doing so, as these siege tanks, marines and marauders simply rip through his army, and there's only 2 stalkers and a pylon left here to stand. And I'm really not sure what DarkDanjal is going to do at this point. He could probably just GG out of the game right now. He doesn't have enough probes to compete with the income. We can see here he doesn't even have half of Blanis' income. There is, I really see no way for him to pull through this unless he is able to pull some real shenanigans. He's got 6 warp gates, but he's not able to utilize them at all. He's only got 4 warp gates selected though in his little control group, but that doesn't matter. He can't even utilize 4 of them at the moment. He will be able to utilize 4 pretty soon if he continues to build probes, but not right now. He really needs to use the Chrono Boost more as well. As we can see, both of these nexuses being at 100. Chrono boosting probes would help him get up his economy faster, since I mean he obviously wants to try to stay in the game. It's not completely over yet, but you know it's probably pretty much over for DarkDanjal's. You know, yeah, I really see no way for him to pull through, but you know, maybe he can surprise us. So what I'm trying to say is that if he's going to stay in the game anyways, he really needs to chrono boost the probes more, since he really needs to get them out faster, as he's starting to do right now, which is good, but he should have done it earlier as well. 18 harvesters versus 31. We can see DarkDanjal's economy is stabilizing, as it's not really that bad anymore, but Blanis got his expo up and a way superior army, and he can just move in at any point and completely destroy DarkDanjal, as he seems to be wanting to do right now. And this is the right choice, because you do not want your opponents to actually stabilize again after you dealt that much damage. You should just seize your win. He's at over 1k minerals, and that easily happens sometimes, of course, and maybe he's kind of relaxed because he's pretty sure he's winning his game, I think. As mentioned, I really don't see any way for him to come out as the loser. And let's just take a look at the production tab again. As we can see, DarkDanjal can only afford to make probes, whereas his opponent is making troops in the civis. He doesn't want to make any more probes though, because he wants to get a better army, and he's trying to land a few force fields to gain an advantage, but it is just too late. His army is just way inferior, and the GG comes out from DarkDanjal. And this game, the second preliminary match between a bronze and platinum player in the Set Sail for Fail tournament, is over, as Blanis GG's back.